Welcome to today's lesson, which is about problem solving with decimals. The goals of today's lesson are that you can describe some situations that use negative decimals and that you can perform mathematical operations with decimals and percentages to solve problems. So profit and loss at a business is one area where we use positive and negative decimals. Profit is positive, it means you're gaining money, so that's positive. And a loss is negative, it means you're losing money. And the net profit means the combined profit or loss for the year. So here we have a store that made a profit of $45,316.25 in the first 3 months of 2020. And then, as we know, due to COVID, stores were closed and they made a loss for the rest of the year. So that's a negative $19.13. And to combine these, I find the difference and I get $45,297.12. So it's a combined positive because 45,000 rounded is a lot more positives than 19 negatives. So it's a profit, a net profit. And write my units, which is dollars, $45,297.12. Credit card transactions is another area where we use positive and negative decimals. And with credit cards, when you have a negative balance, that's a negative. Every time you spend money, it's a negative on your credit card. So spending on groceries and spending on gasoline. And when you make a payment, that's a positive on the credit card. So we have a negative. I'm going to put two different columns for negatives and positives. Negative $50.10. Negative $225.35 for groceries. Negative $30.16 for gasoline, and a positive of $25. So let's add my negatives first. When I add all of these, I get a total negative of $305.61 and a positive of $25. And to find the balance at the end of the month, to combine to add or to find the difference between these, I can determine first that it's going to be a negative balance at the end because I have a lot more negatives. I have 305 negatives and only 25 positives. So it's going to be a negative balance. Find the absolute value of both numbers. And that's going to be $305.61. This is 25. Subtract the smaller absolute balance from the larger absolute balance, $280.61. And which number had the larger absolute value? So this number did. This had an absolute value of 305. And this number is negative, we can see here. So our answer is going to be negative. And we had already determined that by comparing the positives and negatives. So the balance on its credit card at the end of the month was a negative balance of, write your units, the dollars, $280.61. Another area where we can have negative decimals is with percent change. So the population of Montana dropped, we see here. So we're going to have a percent decrease. What was the percent change? It's going to be a percent decrease. And so my strategy is going to be calculate the percent decrease. And first step will be calculate the amount of change, the amount of the decrease, and then the second step is calculate the percent change. So that's my strategy. So the amount of the decrease is 822,320 minus 799,636, which is 22,684. So the change is a decrease. So when I'm calculating my percent change, then I've got change divided by the original amount, and the change is negative, even though it doesn't look like this here, but think about it, it's a percent decrease. The numbers went down. I got the absolute value of the difference here. So the change is negative 22,684 divided by the original amount, 822,320, and that's 0.02758. I'll stop there. This goes on much more. And I'm going to multiply by 100 to get percent, and I would get 2.758%. Now I'm asked to round to the nearest hundredth. So 8 is close to 9, so I should round my 5 up to 6, and I get 2.76% decrease in population, 2.76%, or I could say negative 2.76% change. So decide before you begin calculations what you expect the sign of your answer to be, and organize your work neatly. Label it as you go so you can check it. You can see here I wrote my strategy. I labeled my work as I went along. I said this is my change, this is my original amount, and this is my answer, 2.76% decrease or negative 2.76% change. And so you saw today 3 different situations that use negative decimals, and you saw how to solve mathematical operations with decimals and percents to solve problems. And that's the end of today's lesson.